This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's number one show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. Another big game for the New York Knicks tonight. They take on the Chicago Bulls in Chicago. And the Bulls are undefeated, ladies and gentlemen. They are undefeated. We're going to break it down. I got Steph. I got Andy in the building. Let's get after it, ladies and gentlemen. Steph, good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm good. Hey, Sam. Hey, Andy. Hey, chat. I'm doing pretty good. I'm really looking forward to this game tonight. I don't really see it as a measuring stick as much as a lot of people do, but I'm just looking for steady improvement, consistent improvement, especially on the defensive end. So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. Andy?
Yeah, what up, Sim? What up, Steph? What up to the chat? Happy to be on with you guys. You know, I had to miss a show now and then, but I'm trying to be on as much as possible.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
You know, I've been getting text all day from people like, oh, this, you know, I got former players that I used to coach that used to be Chicago fans are now Knicks fans because Derrick Rose plays for the Knicks, you know, wow. and it's like, oh, you know, we got a backcourt, you know, we got a good backcourt, but they got a good backcourt too. I think this is going to be a really, really good game. And, you know, when you're looking later down the line in playoffs, could be a team that we match up against in the playoffs. So I'm really interested in seeing a few aspects of this game. As we get into some of the keys of the game, you know, I guess we'll break down some of the things that the teams do. We'll take a look at a team comparison and those type of things. But let's take a look at the injury report first. All right. For the New York, we'll start with the Chicago Bulls. Tyler Cook is out. And, well, let's just get to the big guy. Zach LaVine is questionable for tonight's game. And this was put out at 3:30 today. The next update will be at 4:30. Zach LaVine is questionable. I think he'll probably go, right? It's a left thumb sprain. I think he'll probably go. The Bulls know this is a big game, you know, in a game, just like we were saying, I think it was last night, Steph, last night. The Bulls have just as much to prove as the Knicks have. You know what I'm saying? So they want Zach LaVine out there playing. And for the New York Knicks, Nerlens Noel, he's questionable with a sore left knee. All right, and with the way things are going right now, you know, they'll probably let Nerlens Noel nurse that knee until it's fully healthy because, you know, Taj Gibson is able to come in and play some strong minutes. You got Jericho Sims on the bench that can give you some time at that center spot as well. You know what I mean? So we will see. We'll see what happens with Nerlens Noel, but I expect Zach LaVine is probably going to play.
Yeah.
I can't see him not playing. You know, when we look at the starting lineups for tonight, Kemba Walker for the New York Knicks at the point guard spot, Evan Fournier at shooting guard, R.J. Barrett at small forward, Julius Randle at power forward, Mitchell Robinson at center. And for the Bulls, you have Lonzo Ball at the point guard spot, Zach LaVine at shooting guard, DeMar DeRozan at small forward, Patrick Williams at power forward, and Nikola Vucevic at center. So I want to talk about those matchups before we really get into any kind of strategy. Any matchup on the screen that really concerns you? I'll start with you, Steph.
Lonzo Ball and Kemba Walker. I mean, what may be okay is he's not someone who drives to the basket. He's not somebody that I remember posting a lot. So in that sense, it may not be as bad as it could be. But with that size advantage, I'm not sure Kimber's going to be able to even bother his shot, like if he wants to shoot a three, which he does. So that concerns me a little bit. Um, Kimber is faster and should be able to get around him, but Kimber's quickness is not what it used to be, and Ball has the size and the length. So it's going to be interesting to see if Kimber is able to win that battle.
Yeah, that really is going to be interesting because not only can Lonzo Ball shoot the three, but he's a good defender. And playing against a guy like Kemba Walker, yes, Kemba Walker is smaller. You would think maybe Kemba Walker is able to use his speed to get past him.
Right.
But Lonzo Ball can play defense, and he has long arms, and he knows how to use his length to play defense. That is concerning to me. Andy, what about you? Any matchups on the screen, either way, that you're either concerned about or think, we probably dominate that matchup?
Except the point guard battle. I'm thinking about the centers. They totally different players, and as you guys mentioned about the point guard play, Kemba is going to try to go, versus Lonzo probably most time in the pick and rolls because at this point of his career, it's the screen up high, and then he tries to attack or just pulls up for a three.
Right.
With them switching it, it's going to be easier for Kemba to attack to the hole because it's Vucevic, right? He's not a perfect defender.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, on the offensive end of the Bulls, Vucevic can shoot the three, so he's going to spread the court, and Mitch is going to have to step out. So, these teams might not be playing, their best basketball and playing to their strength because of the matchups. So it depends who's going to try to, force their kind of basketball and their kind of tactics on the other team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think,
go ahead,
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Steph.
Some will say that Robinson can defend the 3-point line. That's not the point. The point is, if he's out there playing the 3-point line, then he's not rim protecting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then you allow DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine to slash to the basket, and you have a passer in Lonzo Ball that can find those guys. That can be something that's really, that can be trouble. Yeah. I think it was Tony Crow last night who said, or maybe the night before, whenever it was, I don't remember. So many shows, I don't remember when it is. But I think it was Tony Crow who said he's a little bit more concerned about guys cutting back door than the size at the guard positions. And I think it's valid when, like we were just saying about Vucevic. Yeah. If he takes Mitchell Robinson out the paint, and then you got guys like Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan that can go back door, and you got a Kemba, a small Kemba, guarding Lonzo Ball.
Right.
Can pass right over top of him. Easy.
Yeah. And Vucevic is also a good passer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Right. And Vucevic is a good passer. Right. So that could, and the Knicks are susceptible to giving up that backdoor play.
Yeah.
Yeah, both RJ and Evan Fournier.
Yeah, both of those guys are. Yeah. Both of those guys. Now, on the screen, there's the matchup of Evan Fournier and Zach LaVine. How do you feel about that matchup? Or would you rather have RJ on Zach LaVine? And Andy, I'll start with you.
Listen, at these matchups, I think they don't have. I don't have a problem with any of them because both, Fournier is going to have, a little bit advantage on this or that player, and the same with RJ. RJ is going to have the strength advantage versus LaVine because, he's a little bit skinnier, but I think LaVine can, is a little bit faster than RJ. Then again, Fournier can chase these guys around the screens, but, if they want to post up, and at least DeRozan can post up, can play. I'm not sure. So
sounds like
enough, even between act.
You there with us, Andy? I think Andy froze up. Um, Steph, what is your take on that? Evan Fournier and Zach LaVine, or R.J. Barrett and Zach LaVine? Who would you rather
Yeah,
have guarding Zach?
I would rather have RJ Barrett, because of the strength. Um, Zach may still have a small advantage still. Evan Fournier and DeMar DeRozan would be okay in terms of their body, their body sizes. DeMar DeRozan is not like a big strong player, but he's shifty. Like
Yeah,
he's not even fast either, but he's shifty. He knows how to get to his spot. So whoever is on DeRozan is going to have their work cut out for them in terms of chasing him around, trying to keep him in front. Um, but yeah, I would rather have to answer your question, Barrett on Levine.
Barrett on LaVine. Okay, DeMar DeRozan is more of a mid-range player. Doesn't really shoot the three well.
Right.
You know, I don't know who out of RJ and Fournier. I don't know who guards the three better. Right? Zach LaVine can knock down the three ball.
Yeah.
That's a tough matchup either way.
Yeah. Either way.
Either way, that's going to be a tough matchup. I suspect that it's going to kind of be it may not be, RJ's just on Zach and Evans just on DeMar.
Right.
It may be that, whoever ends up guarding that guy is there
Right.
between those two players, right? They can probably be interchangeable.
Right.
Do you see us winning either one of those matchups? I mean, obviously, when you're playing the team game, it's not always about the individual matchup.
Hmm.
But do you see, does Evan Fournier and Zach LaVine cancel each other out? Does R.J. Barrett and DeMar DeRozan, do they cancel each other out? Or do you give the edge to the Bulls?
Evan Fournier has a chance to outplay DeMar DeRozan, right? If he's not shooting well, he has a chance. RJ Barrett, I don't know. He just hasn't been shooting that well up until this point. And Zach LaVine is a more established player, offensively at least. So I think Fournier would have the better shot than RJ of outplaying their counterpart.
Right. Okay. What do you think, Andy? And you broke up a little bit earlier.
Yeah. I noticed probably some, updates on my PC was running, so sorry for that. Yeah, I have to agree with Steph. RJ, at least, on the offensive end, didn't, got into the season at this point. He has, double-digit games, but we were expecting around 20 points for him per game. And, that's not happening on a daily basis. So, we need to wait, for him to warm up, or Thibs to, adjust the offense a little bit for him. And listen, Fournier, if he's, he can get hot. So if that's the case, he can outscore both of those guys. So
Yeah, he can. He can get hot. That's without a doubt. And we've seen it already this season from Fournier. You know what I mean? And if he does get hot, Zach LaVine is not an all-world defender. You know what I mean? So if he gets hot, that could be trouble for Zach LaVine. And if RJ Barrett can, just do what he's been doing, knock down those corner threes when they come to him, get a couple of drives to the basket, keep DeMar DeRozan honest. I think we'll be fine there. I don't know if we win that, but we'll be fine there. Now, Julius Randle and Patrick Williams, you figure Julius Randle should win this matchup hands down, right? But Patrick Williams is a good defender. Steph, I don't think Patrick Williams is going to score with Julius Randle, but can he give Julius Randle trouble?
He can make it tough for him. For him. But in my opinion, Julius is going to be able to get his shot off. Whether it's the mid range, whether it's the three, whether it's the drive to the basket. I think he definitely wins that matchup. And I wouldn't be surprised to see DeMar DeRozan on Randle at some points in the game as well.
Hmm. Has did San Antonio do that in the past last year on Randall? I don't
I
remember,
think he
but
played the four for San Antonio
hmm.
last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. All right.
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Yeah. Andy, any concerns with Patrick Williams defensively against Julius Randle?
Listen, on this matchup, I think only one that can hurt Julius is Julius himself. Trying to force it too much,
Right, right.
and if it's not falling, let's not force it. Wait for an open shot, take one, see it go through the hoop, and then try to attack.
Yeah.
I just hope it's not going to be like, listen, Fournier is not gonna make 2 shots in a row. RJ is not gonna make 2 shots in a row, and Julius like, okay, give me the ball like 4 or 5 times in a row. We know that he can take him, and probably it's going to be easy for him. But some days, just the shot isn't falling. So I just hope he's not going to try to force it too much, and just go with the flow with the game a little bit more.
Yeah. And what about Mitchell Robinson and Vucevic? We see Mitch play really, really good defense on Joel Embiid. Vucevic is a different type of a center than Joel Embiid is. Do you see Mitchell Robinson being able to play the same style of defense on Vucevic, be as effective as he was with Joel Embiid?
No, listen, I was praying in the morning already for Mitch not to jump today versus Vucevic.
Right.
If he's going to be standing still and holding his hands up, that's going to be enough as far as I see it. Vucevic, he has that, drop step, step back, a little bit fadeaway jumper, even when he's really close to the hoop. So, as long as he won't fall and jump versus Vucevic, I think we're going to be fine with that. The 3-point shot is something else, because I fear that Vucevic has those when he's trailing the play, like even when they're just bringing up the ball, when he's trailing the play, he's looking to take that 3-point from the top of the key. So I hope Mitch did his scouting report, and he's going to remember that if he's trailing, he has to be there and wait for him. He loves that shot there, because I don't recall him shooting from the corners. But from the top of the key, he loves that 3-point taken. And listen, around the hoop, he's one of the most crafty guys in the league. So I hope he won't jump for those fakes of Vucevic. So, and he's a great defender, not defender, just rebounder. So that's going to be a battle in itself.
Yeah. Steph, what do you think?
Yeah, Vucevic has like an all-around game. So like with Joel, he can get physical and things like that. Vucevic, you not only have to keep him from the three, you got to keep him from the post. You got to keep your hands up and get in the passing lanes, because he's a very good passer. He's multifaceted. So Mitch has to be very cerebral, and try to defend him in different ways. So I think it's going to be a challenge for him, and hopefully he meets it.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I agree. I think Vucevic is a little bit more savvy than probably Joel Embiid is, as far as you know, getting fighting for position. Excuse me, fighting for position. Getting himself open and those type of things. He might be a little bit more savvy than Joel Embiid. That's not to say that he's a better player. I'm just saying a little bit more savvy, and Mitchell Robinson is going to have to deal with that. And
Right.
I think I agree with you, being a little bit more cerebral in the way that he defends him. Now, we haven't seen it much this year, but could the Knicks really exploit this matchup by getting Mitchell Robinson or putting him in a pick and roll situation and actually lobbing him the ball? We haven't seen it much, but maybe try to exploit that. Vucevic can't jump with Mitchell Robinson, and maybe can't stick with him in that screen and roll scenario. Do you think the Knicks will try to exploit that tonight?
I hope so. I mean, I think it's been there more, a lot more than we've been using it. Actually,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, yeah, on the dives to the basket, or even if it's not a pick, guys are just driving. Mitch is right there, throw it up. So we're not using it as much as we should. But yeah, I think we should actually do pick and rolls. It could be anybody. It could be Kemba. It could be Randall might be a little clunky, but two bigs out there. But you know, that could work too.
I think Fournier is going to have opportunities to throw that
28
lob.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a really intelligent player. So,
Yeah.
he sees that, and you see that he doesn't, maybe not doesn't like it, but he doesn't think about it. But it's sometimes it's just so wide open. It would be like a shame for him not to pass it. So he does it, and we've seen it probably once a game from him.
Right.
So
I think Evan Fournier and Mitchell Robinson are going to develop a good connection. We've seen Evan Fournier kind of be the main guy looking for Mitchell Robinson in the screening role. Mitchell Robinson establishing himself under the basket. Evan Fournier finding him. I think in the last game, Evan Fournier found Mitchell Robinson rolling to the basket, and Mitch wasn't really expecting the pass, right? And so he was a little surprised that he got it. I think those two guys may be able to develop something there. We're going to need Mitchell Robinson to get used to Evan Fournier passing him the ball and looking for him. But I think those two guys might have a little something that needs to develop a little bit more, but maybe later on in the season, we actually get a chance to see it, grow and develop and be a lethal part of the offense.
He's the only one that really looks for him.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly.
He hit him in the post one game. Was it the Magic game? He hit him in the post right underneath, the basket, and I think he got fouled. So the other ones don't seem to look for him as much. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I don't know why either, but maybe it's I don't know. I know, I think the whole, just straight up having Mitchell Robinson set a screen, a high screen, and then roll to the basket. I think a lot of coaches and teams have caught on to that. So I think there needs to be other ways to get Mitchell Robinson rolling to the basket.
Right.
Just little designs here and there. And it may not always stem from Kemba. It might come from Fournier or RJ. But having that pick and roll in our arsenal, I think, is definitely important to continuing to allow us to shoot open three-pointers.
Right.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you can call in 516-405-2246. I'm interested to hear your take on tonight's game. And you are watching the Game Day pregame show, ladies and gentlemen. For the most up-to-date sports content and betting odds, make sure you head over to their website or their YouTube channel, and you can find a link to both in the description of this video. Make sure you go over there and check it out, ladies and gentlemen. The Game Day. Go ahead and check that out. I want to look at the team comparison between these two teams. And it might look a little bit small on your screen, so I'm going to blow it up. All right. You see the Knicks are averaging 118.8 points per game. The Bulls are averaging 107.5. That's a little bit less than what the Knicks are giving up per game. The Knicks are giving up, I think, 109.8 points per game. All right. The Knicks are almost 10 points, scoring 10 points more than they're giving up so far this season. The Knicks average about 47.5 rebounds. The Bulls are at 41. The Knicks are at 26 assists. The Bulls 24 assists. 8.5 steals for the Knicks, 10.3 for the Bulls. 6.8 blocks for the Knicks, 6.5 for the Bulls. Both teams around 13 turnovers. Both teams shoot about 46% from the field. The Knicks are shooting 38% from the three. The Bulls are shooting 42.3%. And Andy, via Jay Macri, brought up an interesting stat that I want to talk about as it pertains to three-point shooting. The New York Knicks are shooting 70% from the free throw line. I'd really like to see that get better. And they're shooting 86.4%. The Bulls are shooting 86.4% from the free throw line. Both teams, average, points in the paint between 42 and 44 points in the paint. The Knicks are averaging 14 second chance points, 12.3 for the Chicago Bulls. And as far as fast break points, Bulls average a little bit more than the New York Knicks up to date. But the Knicks are definitely playing faster and running more, which is very encouraging for me. But I want to talk about this, the three-point shooting between the two teams. because the New York Knicks right now, they're giving up 46 3-point attempts per game. 46. And the Chicago Bulls only take 26. I think that's that's an interesting. I think that's interesting right there. You know, it probably ends up being somewhere around in the middle where the Bulls take about, you know, maybe 36 threes or something like that this game. You know, just to kind of cut it in half. But they're shooting 42% from the 3-point line. Which one do you think happens, Steph? Do you think if the Bulls take more, they're going to shoot a lower percentage? The Knicks like to protect the middle. Are they going to continue to just protect the middle and give up the 3-point shot to the Bulls? I don't know. How do you think it goes tonight?
I think the Knicks will continue to do what they do, and I think they will give up the three and protect the middle. The Bulls remind me a little bit of us last season, where we didn't take a lot of them, but our efficiency was pretty good. I'm okay with that. I mean, if we start playing that 3-point line, it really opens up the interior for slashers and cutters and things of that sort. I don't see the Bulls overnight just starting to hoist them up. So I think we'll go. I think we'll be okay.
What do you think, Andy?
Listen, with all luck, a guy like Alex Caruso off the bench is gonna, take 4 or 5, and he's gonna be like, 80%. So I'd rather not comment on that.
Yeah, I hear you on that one.
Yeah, so it's gonna be one of those crazy bench, guys that we don't know how to, pronunciate his name even. So it might be like that. But to be true, Sim, I really think that when open shots presents yourself in the NBA, I think you got to take it. So I think they're going to take them. So it's going to be way more than 26 that they're going to, attempt. But how much they're going to make? Listen, if it's DeRozan, I think I'm going to be fine with that shot because, we know that he loves that longer two, that deep two instead of a three. But, a couple of inches, for these guys, it's nothing. And we don't know how much he worked on it in the offseason. Maybe, after like 10, 20 games, it's going to be seeming that, there wasn't developed that like we saw with D-Rose. So you never know. Yeah. I think, every time you leave a guy open, doesn't matter where on the court, it's a bad sign. It's a 5-on-5 game. You can't leave anyone open on this level.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting what you say about the Bulls being similar to how the Knicks were last year. Right now, the Bulls are only taking 85 shots per game, right? That's 29th in the league. The Knicks are actually taking 95 shots per game, and that's 4th in the league. The Knicks are number 1 in 3-point attempts at 46. The Knicks are number 7 in 3-point percentage at 38. So it's interesting. The Bulls, while only taking 85 shots, they're actually 11th in the league in assists at 24.5. So that does kind of indicate that they use each other and play a team game, but they must be playing at a much slower pace than the Knicks play. And I think that could be a huge advantage for the Knicks. And, if they're moving and they're running, they're playing fast, the Bulls may figure out, hey, we got to try to match that. And they may not be accustomed to playing that style of basketball. I don't know why, though, because they seem to have guys that would be able to play that style of basketball. When you talk about, DeRozan is kind of a half-court guy, but Zach LaVine, Lonzo Ball, then you got Vucevic who can knock down a three, so he can spread centers out, which allows lanes for you to run a little bit more. Seems like they'd be able to play a little bit faster. I don't know what the case is, but I guess we'll find out a little bit tonight.
Yeah.
Sim, I think it might be caused because, they basically maybe not don't have a bench, but I think they are heavily, riding the starting lineup. So, listen, if you have to play like 38, 37 minutes, you'd rather have a slow pace than, run and gun style. So you rather pace yourself. That's why I think, that might be, their situation with the shots attempted.
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah, and that's why, listen, I think when our bench comes in with D-Rose, Toppin, and even Quickly, they got to go at him like it's, 5 seconds or less. D'Antoni's got to be shamed this game with our bench. So I think they just got to attack, no matter if it's even a perfect play, just attack them so they, they realize or they have to go back or they have to go to their bench because our bench can, eat their bench alive. So.
Yeah, and that's actually one of my keys to the game, that the Knicks bench, they've got to show up tonight, in my opinion. I think the starting five can match up with the Knicks. I'm not sure if the bench can actually match up with the Knicks bench. So and if they're gonna have starters, like you said, Andy, if they're gonna have starters in the playing with the bench unit, with the second unit, if the Bulls are gonna have starters playing with the second unit, and we're running, we're moving, we're playing fast, now we're going to tire out their starters a little bit, or those starters that are playing with the second unit.
Right.
So we might as well go ahead over and take a look at the keys to the game, or what my keys to the game are, and then I want to get your thoughts on the keys to the game. All right, so let's get that on over here and take a look at that. Just 1 second. Here we go. Keys to the game, ladies and gentlemen. The first thing for me is don't force the game. Right? I'm pretty sure they are hearing everything that fans are saying, that this is a big game. This is a game where the Knicks can prove themselves and let everybody know that, hey, we want to be one of the top dogs in the Eastern Conference, or we believe we're one of the top dogs in the Eastern Conference. I feel like, and especially like Julius Randle, in situations like that, sometimes I feel like he forces the issue. Right? So I don't want the Knicks to force anything. I want them to just play their basketball game. Don't force it. Let it happen. Let it come. And I think they'll be okay. Team defense. We got to play team defense. And I would not mind seeing them play some zone. I doubt that it's going to happen, but I wouldn't mind seeing them play zone against DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Lonzo Ball. I'm just a little bit concerned that, their wing players might be able to, I'm just a little concerned that we might be overmatched from the wing standpoint. And I think a little bit of zone could help us out, help us go a long way in that area. Now, obviously, Lonzo Ball can shoot it from three. Zach LaVine can shoot it from three. DeMar DeRozan likes to stay in that mid-range area. But a little bit of zone, force them to shoot more threes than maybe they want to shoot. Right? Maybe they're just not comfortable shooting that many threes. I don't know. I think it could help. I don't think Tom Thibodeau's going to do it. Kemba Walker, he was the star of the show versus Philadelphia. I'd like to see the Knicks use more screens to free up Kemba. Especially because you have a long defender like Lonzo Ball. And like we keep saying, it's important. It is key to our team that Kemba Walker is a threat offensively. If we can use some screens to free him up, get him open, if he's going to shoot the three, if he's going to get in the lane and pull up the mid-range, even have him come off a couple of screens without the basketball. Find ways to get Kemba open by using screens and see if we can maybe get him into the paint a little bit. I don't know if he's going to convert when he gets in there. That's the problem. But, if he can get into the paint and just pull it up, maybe get a floater. He's not going to develop a floater right now, but I don't think Kemba has any problem shooting a floater. Maybe he should shoot the floater a little bit more. I think we should exploit Randall's mismatch with Patrick Williams, but through ball movement, not just give him the ball and get out the way. I think we need to have a few passes on the opposite side of the floor, let it reverse, and then get it to Randall on the move, to exploit that mismatch. And then Mobb Deep, the bench must show up. I think they got to show up tonight. Come out, like Andy said, play fast.
Yeah.
Tire out that second unit. If DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine or Lonzo Ball is playing with that second unit, whoever, keep it moving, keep it going, playing fast, tire them out too. Right. But these are my keys to the game right here. Any thoughts or comments that you want to make on my keys to the game, or something that maybe I missed that you want to add?
I mean, I like the last one. I mean, I like all of them, but if the bench is playing fast, that's definitely to our advantage. Like that's how we can blow the game open a little bit. Gmo made a good point in the in the chat that their bench doesn't have a lot of notoriety, but they do defend. They do defend those guys. But still, um, if we're running and Rose is pushing the ball, and you got Quickly on one wing, Burke on the other wing, you got Obi cutting straight to the basket. That works well for us. So hopefully that can actually break the game open for us. How our bench plays. Actually, and hopefully we do play fast, because I think if you play slow, I'm not saying you don't have an advantage, but you have more of an advantage if you're pushing the ball.
Right. Especially with a team that may not be that deep.
Right.
You know what I mean? Definitely have a little bit of an advantage there. Let me get to a phone call. Oh, I thought I had somebody on the line. I don't. Give me a call, ladies and gentlemen, 516-405-2246. And I'm going to get Evergreen in the building. You know,
Mr. Championship.
Yeah, Mr. Championship in the building. And you know he's coming in with some energy, ladies and gentlemen. You already know that. You know, because he likes to take trips, you know, to Chicago and stuff like that, and talk about Derrick Rose and all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? So let's get Evergreen up here in the chat. As you're taking a look right now on the screen, you're taking a look at the team comparison. We're going to get Evergreen in here and see what he's talking about. Evergreen, what's popping with you, man?
Hey, Sim, I just figured this out today, man. I figured out how to spell Bulls, and you spell them with 2 L's, because that's what we giving them. We're gonna give them an L this time, and we're gonna give them an L next time. Right? Why everybody sound so down and dreary and scared? Are we Knicks fans or not? Like, why is everybody so scared right now? We're gonna win this game. It's too easy. This is too easy. The Bulls haven't played anybody yet. They played Detroit. Who else? They played Detroit twice, didn't they? They played New Orleans. Like, they haven't been battle tested yet. They haven't been. We got 2 battle tested games already under our belt. One of them with Boston, obviously, with the double OT win. The second one was the other day against Philly, which, you know, that's neither here nor there because Ben Simmons wasn't there. But nonetheless, the expectations of the league was that the Knicks are supposed to lose both of those games when we won them. The games that we were supposed to win, or the one game we were supposed to win against Orlando, we lost. But as Julius Randle said, like, I'm not even worried about that. Like, I was upset about it. I'm not even worried about that no more. Knicks are winning this game. I'm not going to give you over and under, so don't ask. But the Knicks are going to win this game. This is too easy. Too easy, guys.
See, this is what I'm saying. It's not too easy. If games were too easy, we would have beat.
It's too easy.
We would have blew out Orlando the second time. So it's not too easy. This is a team that has talent. Can we beat them? Of course we can beat them. But, you know, this is a team that has some talent on the floor. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't believe it yet.
Yeah, and I
don't believe it yet. I mean, you got. Go ahead, Steph. Go ahead.
I mean, I agree with you that they haven't played anybody, but they just played who was on the schedule. And just because, you know, they haven't played anybody good doesn't mean they're not a good team. It remains to be seen. So we'll see how they play against us, whether they're really good or not. And I think they're looking at us as a barometer as well. They know they haven't played good teams. So they're looking at this game to see, you know, are we really that good? Are we really a 4-0 team?
Yeah, you know, but, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say we just going to blow them out. We don't know what to expect yet. And I mean, you got to admit, Evergreen, there's some matchup issues that we have with this team. Just looking at it from the wing standpoint, you don't think there's some matchup issues?
I mean, maybe I think just at the wing. But I mean, Julius Randle's gonna destroy Patrick Williams. Mitchell Robinson just held his own against Joel Embiid. right? He just held his own against Joel Embiid. So is Vucevic that much different of a player than Joel Embiid is? I mean, they both kind of do the same thing. Joel Embiid is just a lot stronger, I would say, than Vucevic is. He's a bigger body and presence in the paint than Vucevic is, and Vucevic might have better footwork in the paint. But the way we played help defense against Joel Embiid, like Vucevic is going to have to be on the outside stretching that floor, right? He's going to have to be out there, and I don't know if he's going to be good enough to live out there. I'm not worried about. I think that the starting lineup in this case kind of cancels each other out. But man, our bench is killer. You know, one of the best benches, if not, you know, top 5 benches in the league right now. Our bench is really what's gonna put us over the edge. The only person that I'm worried about on their bench is maybe Kobe White if he checks in, and definitely Lauri Markkanen. But after that,
Marketing doesn't play for them anymore.
they'll take this L.
What are you talking
And
about?
Corey
Wait,
White is in
where's Markkanen at? Uh-oh.
Cleveland. And
See,
Cleveland is
hold up, though. Evergreen. See, hold up.
Cleveland.
So how can we believe, you know, you come in and you say we just gonna smack them around and you don't even know who's on the team?
Yeah, I mean, I just remember, hold on, and I say that because I remember last year, Lauri Markkanen, he did some pretty nasty stuff to us last season, right? So I still kind of have PTSD when it comes to that, but I don't really believe in the rest of their team as of right now because they haven't played anybody. Like when they got Vucevic last year, everyone was expecting Chicago to just be this team that's going to be a force to be reckoned with right after their All-Star break, and they went kaput, right? So I don't believe them yet. Maybe this will be the game that I'll believe them and I'll eat my crow. But as of right now, I don't believe Chicago. You know,
all right.
Say what you want about how they played, but I don't believe them yet. So, you know, we'll see tonight.
Yeah, we'll see tonight. I think it's going to be a good basketball game tonight. You know, it's going to be Chicago's going to be in the mix. I think probably all season long. I think they're going to be in the mix. You know, DeMar DeRozan wasn't the guy that I wanted to come to the Knicks because I wanted shooters. Right? Chicago picked them up. Good pickup for them. I'm glad we got Evan Fournier instead of DeMar DeRozan. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that he's not going to pose, you know, he's not a threat to us. And then, of course, Lonzo Ball is playing good basketball. He's doing what I thought he would do there, kind of being a glue guy from the point guard position, you know. So this is going to be a good game, a good matchup. I think the Knicks are going to win.
Me too.
Right? I think we're going to win the game. You know, just because I'm pointing out some, you know, maybe I don't want to say mismatches, but some areas where they may have some advantages doesn't mean I don't think the Knicks are going to win. I think the Knicks are going to win the game. You know, but, you know, there's some definite things to watch for, you know, as we go into this basketball game, especially that little 3-point disparity. That's going to be interesting, you know, what we mentioned earlier. By the way, as far as 3-point shooting, you know, Derrick Rose returning to Chicago. He's shooting 57.9% from the 3-point line this year. So far. Obviously, he's not going to continue to shoot at that level, but he's shooting 57.9% from the 3-point line, 47.6% from the field. You know, he keeps doing that. 6th man of the year. He'll be a 6th man of the year candidate once again, and this time maybe even take it. He keeps playing like this. You know, Andy, I'm gonna come around to you. Your prediction for tonight's game?
I'm predicting a W, like all you guys. I'm not gonna say the point difference because it might be close or it might be a blowout. I don't think it's gonna be like mid ground. So it's just like that.
Okay. All right, Steph.
Yeah, I think the Knicks win. An interesting stat: the Knicks are 14 in defensive rating, but they're actually holding teams to a lower point percentage than they did last year. It's just that other teams are better defensively, at least early in the season, which has them at 14. I think last year it was 107. This year it's just 105. but 105 gets you 14 in the
Yeah.
defensive ratings. I think we win. And like you said, Sim, just because we're pointing out things that Chicago does well or that may be a concern for us doesn't mean that we don't think we're going to win the game. I think the Knicks will win, but I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk, though.
Right. And Evergreen, I think we already know what you think, right? You think it's going to be a cakewalk, right?
Knicks take the W. I'm not going to give a point spread, but I will say whatever the under is, I'll take the under. Because we haven't really been putting, allowing teams to put major buckets on the board. I'll take the under.
Okay. We're giving up
Whatever the under is. Whoever's got the under in the chat, put the over under in the chat, and I'll take that.
Okay, we're giving up about 110 points per game so far this season. So far, about 110. Let me get to this phone call here. Call you live. Tell me your name, where you're from.
Yo, Sam, what up, bro? It's JJ from Brooklyn. How you
Hey,
doing,
what's
my man?
going on with you,
How's
man?
everything,
How you
bro?
feeling?
What's going on?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Good, man. Good. Can't wait for this game, man. Just hope we could give the Bulls that first L. One thing, and one of my keys is I really think we need to attack Vucevic. They don't have much rim protection. I was trying to get him out in space, try and make him defend pick and rolls and, make him move his feet and go at him at the rim. He's not much of a shot blocker. He's not real, he's not a real rim protector.
Right.
So I would try and go at him, and also Levine. He's improved so far this year. His defense has been improved, but I still don't look at him as a great defender. So I'm hoping Fournier or RJ, whichever one he defends, that they go at him, defensively. So those are probably my two keys, at least offensively for us,
Okay, yeah, I agree with you. I think we should go at Vucevic. We should get Mitchell Robinson in pick and roll scenarios. Try to get some lobs to him. Different types of pick and roll scenarios, not just straight up.
Exactly.
We're gonna screen at the top of the key and hope that he, finds an open road to the basket. We probably need to, add some variation to the way that we're running that screen and roll because I think teams have picked up on it. But I do think that we have an advantage there.
Right. And one thing also with Vucevic, I know it's still early in the year, but he's struggling mightily. He's at 38% from the field and 20% from three. So, hopefully it doesn't, turn this, usually when a guy as good as him is struggling, they'll have that one huge game. So, but if Mitch could defend Embiid that well, I think, Vucevic, he could score inside, outside, even though he's struggling with his shot so far. But I think Mitch he usually kills us, but let's see, Mitch with the extra weight, it really benefited him versus Embiid. So, and another thing with Levine is he's got the torn ligament in his thumb, so we'll see if that affects his shooting.
Right.
If he plays, I'm sure he's probably going to play, but we'll see how that goes on that end too, And the thing with them is they're relying on a lot of long twos. So I'll live with that. If there's one thing you would take is the team shooting long twos. So, let them take contested long twos. I'm fine with that.
Right. That's and that's part
cool
of their game so far this season. That's what they do. Take long twos because for whatever the reasons are, I don't know what the reasons are, but that's the way that they decide to play the basketball game.
Yeah.
Hey,
It'll be a good one though, man. That's it. You guys enjoy the game, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the call. And big shout out to CT Pittman. He says, Sim, one of the biggest advantages we have is cohesion. We've got a group that has been together. The Bulls don't have that yet. Thank you for the super chat, CT. And you're right. I agree with you there. They're still developing some cohesion out there on the floor, Well, we will see, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the Game Day pregame show. And for your most up-to-date sports content and betting odds, make sure you head over to their website. The link is in the description of this video. You can link to their website. You can link to their YouTube page. And make sure you give them a like, subscribe to the channel. They got a lot of good sports content on the channel, too. So they're not just telling you, hey, bet. It's a lot of good content on there that you might want to go check out. So go ahead and check that out, ladies and gentlemen. TheGameDay.com. Go ahead and check that out. Andy, any last words before we get out of here?
Yeah, I'm happy Evergreen, joined us. Now he's gonna get us regular panelists tested in the who he played for, before we go online, so we don't, crash and burn like he did. So, that's gonna be entertaining. And as always, it was a pleasure, Sim, to join you and Steph and Evergreen on the panel.
Appreciate you. Pyro 200777 said they don't take long twos. I'll tell you what, they're not taking a lot of threes, so they're taking a lot of mid-range shots, my friend. Steph?
Yeah, shout out to you, Sim, the chat, the panel. We win today. I think the train keeps rolling, just like I said. And I just want to shout out Josh and the controversy. If you haven't had the opportunity, he did a show yesterday with the fellas from Nickish. So if you didn't get an opportunity, please check that out and make sure you have your notifications on. Josh show is a part of this channel so that anytime a video drops, you'll get it.
Yeah, no doubt. And let me get to my man, Evergreen. Go ahead, man.
Knicks win. Chicago Bulls take a big L today, and bing bong. You know what it is? Knicks win. That's all I got to say about that.
All right.
Bing bong.
Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. I'm heading up out of here. I'll catch you on the post-game show. Spread love, ladies and gentlemen. Out.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is